What's good, Andrew Moloney? How you doing, man?
I'm going great, mate. How are you?
I'm doing, man. I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. I think boxing is really, it's actually peaking in my opinion. A lot of interest. What
Yeah,
you, what you feel, and look, I hope everything is well with the family and things of that nature. Maybe you still mad about what transpired the other fight. I spoke to you I spoke to you after the fight, and I was living myself. I said, nah, they did you wrong in my opinion. I think everybody saw, and everybody saw the slow motion too. So how's your energy? How's your motivation for this fight?
I'm pumped. It's been a long time coming. Like I've been itching to get in the ring and to right that wrong and get that belt back. It's been 9 months now since that second fight, and yeah, now we're only less than 2 weeks away. So I'm itching to get in the ring, and I've just been using that result as motivation for the last 9 months to train as hard as possible and dedicate everything I have to this fight. And I feel like I'm on fire at the moment. I'm killing it in the gym, and I'm just ready to get in the ring and get that belt back.
Yeah, man. Hey, again, everybody, August 14th, Joshua Franco versus Andrew Moloney, the trilogy. Um, it's I think it's harder. Of course, boxing is already hard, but it's harder for you coming from Australia and coming back. Take that plane ride, leave your family once again. Cause you last year you was here for a period for a long time, right? Just preparing
Yeah.
and having those couple of fights, right?
Yeah. So with these three fights that I've had with Franco in America, it's eight 8 months in total I've been away from my family. So
Man.
it's a long time, but as long as I leave that ring with the belt around my waist, then it'll all be worth it.
Other than your, so you can explain, because the boxing fans sometimes lose touch on the sacrifices of fighters. But fans don't care about your family. Fans don't care. They just want to see what they want to see, and they want to see it now. Explain to them, other than the sacrifices you make in the ring, you put your life on the line. What are the sacrifices that you had to do? You probably have little kids that you probably didn't even see started to walk. You probably lost those first steps, or first words, just so you could accomplish the goal. Tell the people the sacrifices a boxer like yourself has to make.
Yeah, that's right. I've got a son who's 2 years old, and I've missed 8 months of his life. So it's a big chunk out of his short life so far. And last year I missed his first birthday because I was stuck in hotel quarantine. Because
Mm.
when we get back to Australia, we have to go straight to a hotel room for 2 weeks each time that we return. So I'm doing that for the third time now coming up. This year I thought I was going to be there for his birthday. I spent some of the day with him, but we had a birthday dinner organised to celebrate his birthday, and I was pumped that I was going to be here this year. And then at the last minute, I got a phone call in the afternoon saying tomorrow's flight's been cancelled. You need to get to the airport in half an hour. So I had to cancel dinner and go straight to the airport and again miss his birthday and
Mm.
get over here to America. So it's just so much time away from my family. And like even when I'm at home, I'm training for this fight because that results in the back of my mind all the time, and it's hard to switch off because I want this so badly. This is my life. So I'm looking forward to getting this belt back, and then I want to enjoy a couple of weeks with my family and really let it sink in and all that will be worth it. Everything we've sacrificed over the last 14, 15 months will be worth it.
Yeah, you in the stack division. A lot of people may not be talking about it as much as people should, but the Chocolatito, Estrada, Yoka, Tanaka, you got yourself, you got Franco. It is a very stacked division. Win a very stacked division that you're in. And again, I was, as a fan, I was angry. I was angry when I saw that. And I think it was very unfair. What now you look back? What do you think about the replays of boxing? They try to implement the replays. What do you think about it now?
Well, the replay should be a great idea. I mean, it'd be amazing. It should stop what happened to me from happening. But and like I think they were trying to protect the referee's decision to make him not look bad and not overturn his decision. But that's what it's there for. Like the referee has a hard job. They have to make a split decision in the heat of the moment, and they can miss things. But the instant replay should correct that decision. And they watched over it for like 28 minutes while we stood in the ring. They couldn't find a head clash, and they still stuck with that as a decision. So that's the part that pissed me off. And that obviously makes me lose any faith in the instant replay system. So, I'm glad that it doesn't matter that it's not going to be there for this fight because it doesn't work anyway.
so so a fighter usually travels abroad. You have to worry about the judges not favoring their side, right? So that's already a sacrifice that some fighters they want to stay comfortable with the at. So I mean, you've done it 3 times. After that, I probably a fighter like yourself would have been, you got to fight me here. Let's fight in a neutral ground because I didn't like the way it happened. So a fighter got to worry about going abroad to fight, getting their just due. They got to worry about judges. They got to worry about the ref. Now they got to worry about the instant replay that is not going to give them their just due. And you got to worry about fighting. And now, do it change your approach to a fight? Sometimes when that the notion of don't leave it in the judge's hand because you're fighting abroad, and because the myth of a foreign fighter is not going to get their just due. So it does change your mindset. Like, I can outbox this guy, but I got to knock him out to win. Do you feel like that?
Yeah. I'm coming in this fight, and I want to make it convincing. I want there to be no questions asked. If a stoppage comes, that'd be excellent. But if not, I just got to dominate this fight from start to finish and just leave no doubt that I am the deserving champion and put, this whole controversy to rest.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, a little bit unfair that sometimes boxers have to feel like that, because they should just worry about what's going on in the ring, and everybody in the outside, everybody in their role got to do their part. Ref, judges, networks, even commentators, stuff like that. I feel like everybody got to do their job. How's your brother Jason Moloney?
Yeah, he's going well, mate. He's going good. We're fighting on the same night for the first time in quite a while. So we're just excited, man. Like, if everything goes to plan like I really think it will, we both have really big wins on that night, it's just going to be such a great feeling. Myself with my world title back, and Jason right back in the position to hopefully fight for a world title again very soon. And just to be able to celebrate with our team, it's going to be really, it's a special night for our team and our family back home. And I'm just really looking forward to celebrating after August 14.
Yeah, man. If I know you don't want to look past your opponent, do you have a long-term goal if you do get this win? And just to clear this out, the second fight you was putting hands on Jaco Franco. I didn't think that fight was going to pass. Really, the way you was landing them shots and the way it was going, I don't think it was going to pass the 4th round. And I'm just being honest. I'm not saying that I'm speaking to you, but looking at that fight, everybody seen the second round. I felt like, okay, Franco just don't have it, and Andrew Moloney went back to the drawing board, did what he had to do, because you was landing shots after shots after shots, jabbing. You was doing everything you wanted to do, and then that happened. But do you feel like you had to go back into the gym and work on something new, or are you going back to the same game plan because it was working?
Yeah, I mean, that second fight, I was just so determined to get that win back. That was obviously the first loss of my professional career, and I went back home after that loss, and went back to the drawing board and just really was just so determined and motivated to get to the gym every day and just work so hard to get that win back. And as you saw in that second fight, I was on fire. Everything that we'd been working on, everything was paying off, and I felt like, everything I was on was landing. And it should have been a second round TKO because it was a punch that did that damage. And then again, since that, obviously with that decision not going my way, again, I'm so determined and back in the gym and just so motivated, having that in the back of my mind every single day. And I feel like over the last 9 months, I've just gone to a new level even again. And I think you're going to see the best performance of my career on August 14, and I think I'm going to dominate this fight.
And what you think he could bring to the table? What are you assuming or predicting that he will probably would have gone back into the gym, saw the tapes? Because of course both of y'all saw the tape. Y'all got to know what was working and what was not working. What do you think that he's gonna come up with his plan? What are you expecting from him?
Well, I think he's going to be a lot more determined this time around. I think the second fight he was probably overlooking me a little bit, and came in a little bit too confident. Probably just thought he was going to walk through me, but as you could tell, I got in that ring and I was so determined and I started very fast. So I'm expecting him in the third fight to start a lot faster, and to try and really bring the pressure, especially early on, because he knows how in control I was in that second fight. And yeah, I'm expecting him to be very determined after the embarrassment that he got in that second fight. With everyone saying that he didn't deserve to walk out the ring with that belt. So I think he's going to be very determined, but I'm even more determined, and I think it's going to be a great fight, but I believe in my ability, and I believe I'm going to come out on top.
All right, you got one more week to go, right? One more week to go. It's 2 weeks, but of course the last week is before you go to the fight week, and got to do a lot of obligations with media and things of that nature. Are you working out in Cali or are you working out in Vegas?
In Vegas. We're in Vegas.
Okay.
We've been here for the last 2.5 weeks, training out of the top-ranked gym, and we've got some great sparring partners, and yeah, everything's going perfect. I just can't wait to finish off this camp, get over there to Oklahoma, and just get this job done.
Yeah, you gotta do it. We gotta do. Let me shout out Manny Max Boxing, Andrew Moloney. Whenever you get the time, you check out Manny Max Boxing. He's gonna be one of the future of boxing journalists and breaking down boxing. This kid is one of the best out there in boxing. I want you to really check him out. Andrew's.
I've done I've done an interview with young Max. Yeah, he's going to be the future. He's a special kid. He's only 16 years old, and he's going to take over the whole boxing scene in the years to come. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Mighty Max Boxing. He said Andrew was gonna punish Franco. I do believe so. I do believe so, because I did not see. Good looking out, Mighty. I didn't see anything. I just didn't see anything Franco half. He wasn't prepared for that. Your determination. You was very accurate with all your punches. Your movement was good. Your positioning was good. It was like, that's why I'm like, it's not going anywhere. I don't. It's going further than what it is. So I think Franco is actually lucky, and now they probably could prepare. Like, yo, you probably did lose this fight. Robert Garcia, come on, Robert Garcia. Look, you a boxer yourself. Stop it. I know you pumping your fighter. I understand. And shout out to Robert Garcia. Got a great gym. But I think that he's gonna have to come with a major plan, because if you're gonna be hitting on all cylinders like he was the second fight, man, it's gonna be a very tough fight for him. Let me ask you about COVID, because you see a lot of fights just being canceled, a lot of events being canceled by COVID. Have you been going through the precaution to stay safe and things like that? Because we don't want to hear in a couple of days, Andrew Moloney or Joshua Franco with COVID. God forbid. It's still a pandemic. I'm not gonna say that people going out trying to get it, but I'm just saying, what do you feel about that? COVID. Do you feel like do you feel like people are using it, or you like as an excuse to get out of a fight, or you feel like it's official? It's like, giving the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but either way, we're being like super cautious. Like, I'm like borderline like paranoid. I'm like, I can't have this fight taken away from me. So we're not even leaving the house for anything other than training. So we're going to the gym at night, where it's just us in the gym. We do our running outside. And then other than that, we don't leave the house. We got our groceries getting delivered to the house and everything. We're just not leaving anything to chance, because it's just, I can't risk getting this fight taken away from me. It means too much to me, and I've sacrificed too much to have this fight for it to fall through. So we're being super cautious, and fingers crossed Franco is too, and we get to this fight, and nothing gets in the way of this fight happening.
Facts, facts, facts. Can I ask you a couple of questions about upcoming fights and your prediction?
Yeah, for sure.
What you feel about Casimero versus Rigondeaux?
That's a tough one to pick just because we don't know what Rigondeaux's got left. Yeah, he's obviously getting older. He's been at the ring for a while.
He's been old since he was born. He's been old since he was born.
He seems to have slowed his feet down and be willing to trade a little bit more, probably because he gets a lot of criticism of being boring. And if he stands there and wants to trade with Casimero, I think Casimero catches him and probably stops him. But if he uses his feet and they're still, his feet are still young and fast and moves, then I think he outboxes Casimero easy. So it's a hard one to pick. I think it's 50-50. It depends who shows up on the night.
Yeah, me too. I agree with that. I just feel like, Casimero has grown a lot. And ever since he's been training with Manny Pacquiao, like 5 fights ago, been going to his training. He's in a training camp right now. I feel like it's something he's learned a lot. He learned a lot from Manny Pacquiao and his way of training, his way of eating, his nutritionist, and everything have changed for Casimero. And I think that it's been working for him. But Rigondeaux you could say Rigondeaux is already a homer, probably not even into the pros. He was just a great amateur fighter. What do you feel about Manny Pacquiao versus Earl Truth Spence?
Yeah, another tough one. Like, again, Pacquiao obviously getting older, been out the ring for a while. I hope Pacquiao pulls it off. I think if Pacquiao pulls this fight off and wins that world title, he could arguably go down as the greatest of all time. And he's given so much to this sport, and he's obviously a legend, especially in the Philippines. And I hope he does it. I really want to see him pull it off, and I think it'd be very special for boxing and for this generation to see Manny Pacquiao do something like that. It would just be a special, special night.
So do you feel if he beats him, he is the greatest of all time?
I think he probably is.
That's what I'm talking about, Angelo. Because I'm saying it. Some people think I'm crazy. I'm saying about before. I just think that 8 division world champion, 5 lineal, and they're fighting for the 6 lineal. I mean, if he beats Earl Spence, they fighting for the ring belt, for the lineal belt as well. So, I think that's what was reported, and I'm like, if this guy, come on, look at his track records. It is what it is. I know some people gonna be like, what about Armstrong and Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad? Of course, everybody, all of them is goats, but I saw Manny Pacquiao.
That's like, it's hard to compare generations, but I don't think you can argue with his resume and how many divisions he's been through. I think they're going to look back on that in years to come once he's retired and go, yeah, he was the greatest, I think.
Yeah. How about Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, the trilogy? One of the trilogies of this year. You got the trilogy, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury got a trilogy. Maybe Canelo Alvarez and Triple G. I'm hearing little wrinkles around there because the Kalen plan. I'm not a big fan of that one because I want to see Canelo Alvarez really go for undisputed or Berturbia for Bivol, right? What do you feel about Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, the trilogy?
Going off that second fight, I've got to
Granted,
anything other than Tyson Fury outboxing Wilder again. I think Wilder's got a new trainer now with Malik Scott, and he does seem from the footage of him hitting the pads and things, he does seem to have made some improvements. But whether or not that transfers into the ring is another thing. But just going off that second fight and even the first fight, really, I felt Tyson Fury won that. I can't see anything other than Tyson Fury winning. Probably convincingly. I don't know whether he stops him again, but convincingly wins this fight.
I do think if Wilder doesn't let himself get caught with feints and let him reset and reset and reset. Because I do see, while he's training, putting the videos up, I see the head movement, and Malik Scott telling him to keep your head movement. And I do think that that's what he should be doing. I think he was getting caught with the feints, and then I think that set the tone for that onslaught on the second fight. But we'll see. We'll see. That's a good fight anyway, even though that I wanted to see the undisputed heavyweight bout.
Yeah, me too. Me
Right?
too.
That was like a pop to the balloon, huh?
Yeah, and so hopefully, Fury gets through this fight, and hopefully AJ gets through Usyk, which I think that's a tough one for him to get through. If they both get through, hopefully we can get this undisputed fight, because I think boxing needs it.
I would say last one of all the fights I want to ask you. What about that? Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk. Woo!
See, I was in Moscow when Usyk fought, what's his name? The final of the World Boxing Super Series, Gassiev.
Okay.
And he was unbelievable that night. Like he was like a Lomachenko as a cruiserweight. Like his feet were so fast and his boxing skills were amazing. And Gassiev, another big puncher, but he just couldn't land on Usyk the whole night. And if that Usyk shows up against AJ, I think he probably beats AJ, just mainly because AJ doesn't seem to have the stamina to really throw a lot of punches and put the pressure on him to make him get tired, because AJ gets tired himself. So I can see Usyk outboxing AJ and just being too fast on his feet, and just too busy for AJ. I don't think he's got the stamina to put the pressure on him and break him down. But the size could be the difference in that fight. But yeah, I just got a bad feeling about that for AJ. I just feel like Usyk might pull it off.
The closer it gets to that fight is like, come on, Anthony Joshua got this, and then it's like, but and the closer you get, it'd be like, oh man. Then I think that's when people be like, realize Usyk and his movement, his pedigree, he's smart in the ring. I think, of course, a lot of people don't feel like his power has translated well into the heavyweight division, but it's the heavyweight division. I mean, it's like, I think that Usyk is your normal heavyweight historically, 220 pounds, 215. Now we got hyper heavyweights. I'm talking about 260. So I think a lot of people don't see that as the difficult part. That it's almost like fighting it's almost like you fighting a welterweight.
Yeah.
In the heavyweight division, like if you put yourself at 118 or whatever, and then you're like fighting 115 and you're fighting a guy at 147, just look at that in the heavyweight division. It's almost the same. That's why the heavyweight division is tough. But I got one fantasy fight that maybe I have for you, but this is just me as a fan. You go out there and you beat Joshua Franco, right? And then you got the WBA, and with the WBA you could go into another division and mandate a fight, right? And you get that win, you get that payback with Inoue because he beat your brother, and you do it for your brother. I got something for you. I know Jason Moloney can handle his business. He could fight, but how about that fight? You go after Inoue because he did that to your brother. What you mean? What you got it?
It would be amazing. It would be amazing, and I'd love to get that win back for my brother. And that is definitely something we can look at. I think Inoue is going to want to be undisputed champion at bantamweight. I think he's after the other belts. But who knows? But at the moment, my focus is on the 115 pounders, and hopefully, not looking past Franco, but get through this fight, get my belt back. And then I'd love the opportunity to unify against one of the other champions before the end of the year. And like you mentioned before, the super flyweight division is just stacked at the moment, and there's so many good fights out there. So I understand how important it is for me to win this fight, because they're the type of fights I want to be involved in. The Chocolatitos, the Estrada, Ioka.
That'd be a good fight, man.
There's so many good fights out there. So I know I need to win this fight, and then the future's very bright, and there's plenty of fights that really excite me out there, and hopefully I'll be involved in.
That's what's up. Let me ask you a question. Is it shut down in Australia? Because I'm just hearing different stories. Is it shut down?
Yeah, so we were sort of opening up, and then they're pretty sort of cautious, down there. Like, we'll have a couple of cases and they shut the whole state down and everyone has to stay home. So that's how it is at the moment. Basically, nearly every state is in lockdown. So hopefully things start to get back to normal soon, because it's just been going on for far too long now.
Yeah, I really thought it was gonna be Tio Cambosas and then Franco and Andrew Moloney. Like I think it was like around February.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be that. It's gonna be lit.
Mm.
You thought y'all was gonna do that out there?
Yeah, that's what the talks were for a few months, and I was really excited about having a huge fight like that in Australia. That fell through. The Cambosis and Tiafimo fight then got put back over here in the States. And then we still tried to arrange for my fight and Franco to be in Australia for months and months. But it's just too hard because we kept going into lockdown, and, it just was too risky to try and put a fight together that could have been cancelled at the last minute. So unfortunately, we wasted sort of half the year trying to organise that fight. But in the end, we said, let's just come back over here to America and get that belt back. So that's what we're here to do.
All right, man. August 14th, you got Andrew Moloney, Joshua Franco, the real trilogy that the fans really wanted to see. The true trilogy that needed is Just Do trilogy. Well, man, thank you for coming, showing love, and thank you for taking your time with me and the rest of the people that's looking on. That's gonna be looking on. Stay safe, do your thing. I got my prediction is you winning this fight. And if you're gonna keep on, if you're gonna have that if you're hitting on all cylinders like you was in the rematch, I do see this, in eight.
Sounds good to me. Looking forward to it. Hope everyone tunes in on August 14 and watches the fight. And yeah, thanks for having me on the channel, mate, and appreciate your support.
All right, my brother. God bless, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.